Hello, my wonderful, beautiful, and amazing friends. Welcome back to r/Entitled People, where you'll hear stories about people who think the world revolves around them. Oh my goodness, guys. Listen, so today's episode is absolutely freaking nutso. I thought the last episode I did was insane, and this story today makes that one seem like a little baby. In today's episode, OP's whole family gangs up on her because she suddenly came into newfound wealth, and it totally destroys and rips the family apart. It's 2 posts from her, describing what she's going through and what she's dealing with. I hope you stay for the whole episode today, because it's truly a wild ride, and hit that subscribe button for future stories. Let's dive in. The story of a sister-in-law who demands a holiday. To start, I'm 46, a female, are married, and have 3 kids. So 10 years ago, we came into money. A lot of money. I worked hard in my specific field, which earns a lot. I've also done some smart investments, and they've paid out. I've been steadily adding to my bank account for these years. My husband considers it my money, and we don't have a prenup. Hence, I will talk as it's mine. When the first payload came in, I did what my husband and I always discussed we'd do if we had the money. The mortgage was paid off, I bought a new car, and I managed to buy a nice house in our favorite holiday destination. We rent this one out to a very nice family for most of the year. We've also set up college funds for our children. Each child gets an equal amount, which should be enough to pay for 5 years of school. If there's money left from the fund, the children can use it as a down payment on their house or apartment. When the money kept coming in, thanks to my investments and work, I looked towards what could be done for my immediate family. My husband has 2 sisters, and we have 5 nieces and nephews on his side from one of the sisters. My brother has 2 children as well. It was decided that all the nieces and nephews would have college funds as well, for the same amount as my children, under the same strict stipulations. I would get the information about the cost and make sure everything is paid. My eldest niece had already begun college, so I paid the amount that was already paid to her parents to keep everything fair. She managed to finish within 4 years and has some money left. I also had an accountant, a dear friend, find out what would be beneficial to my brother and one of my sister-in-laws in regards to their mortgage. I paid off a majority for both of them. My parents were sent on a nice trip since their house is already paid off. I also set up some college funds for the children of our closest friends and family members. And as a treat, hubby and I took our extended families and went on a vacation that was fully paid. Okay guys, I gotta pause there. Are any of you wondering how much money OP came into with investments in her work? Because she's being super duper generous. Anyways, back to the story. Now, at this point, everyone is very grateful. However, one of the sister-in-laws always needs to be in the spotlight. She's nice to my face, but I know for a fact that she's been bad-mouthing me, making passive-aggressive remarks about me and my work and my person, but always in such a manner that you would be the bitch if you were to say something. My usual tactic, and one that always works, is to play the innocent dumb one and nitpick on what she says. I've managed to shut her up many times without being classified as a bitch. So for the past few years, sister-in-law has been hinting that I should pay for a very nice, all-inclusive resort holiday for her and her family abroad, since I have the money. Now that the virus restrictions are mostly lifted, she had a birthday party for her and her son, since their son really wanted to have a party. No biggie. We show up with a gift for her and her son, and all is well. Birthday boy got a voucher to buy a tent or the camping gear he wanted, and sister-in-law got a voucher to use whatever way she wanted. I added some sunscreen, drinks and such, as I knew she wanted to go on a holiday of some sorts. Or so we thought. She asks what our holiday plans are. We say we won't be crossing any foreign borders, and we're staying in home country, but we booked a cabin somewhere for a week. It's very nice, not luxurious or anything, and we would still need to cook and do the grocery shopping. Sister-in-law starts the, "Oh, how nice. We're still thinking about what we want to do." My hubby and I both have an inkling of what she's hinting at, but we start spouting ideas in the hopes of avoiding tragedy. We have family at one place. Maybe they could stay there for a weekend or so. There was a campsite somewhere else with entertainment for the children of various ages. And then it comes. She shows us something she found on the World Wide Web, and to be honest, it looked amazing. Not too luxurious, but still very nice. All-inclusive, water park for the kids, spa center, the whole shebang. The price tag for a family of 7 was $35,000. My hubby says that's a lot of money for a vacation, but he's glad and very happy for her that she saved so much to do this. Sister-in-law then goes, "Oh, we don't have the money. We thought you would be paying as my birthday gift." What? People, she just told us what she was looking at. Wait, scratch that. She expected me to give about $35,000 as a gift for her birthday just because I have money. She goes on that I earn enough money and that they're family, and she told us that our nieces and nephews have been promised already. We sat there in stunned silence. Birthday boy and 2 of his sisters even looked up to see what we would say. Hubby just started laughing, thinking it was a joke. Father-in-law just sat there and looked on, and I did a seemingly very good impression of a fish. Sister-in-law was dead serious and said, "You have the money, you can just give it. You won't miss it." I just sat there and listened, how she widened her eyes, trying to look sweet, and giving all the reasons why we should give the money without counting the voucher we gave her. I then regained my wits and just say the full sentence that she did not want to hear. I said, "No." Sister-in-law says, But you have the money." "I have money, it's true, but it doesn't mean I have to pay for your vacation." She then responded, But you can pay for it." I could indeed. And she interrupts me and says, "Oh, well that's great." And I responded, "But I won't." She then told me that she deserved it and that we won't miss it and that we're family. Sister-in-law and brother-in-law continue to rant about how much they think I should pay for it. I said, "Listen, you've shown so many times that you do not respect me or my line of work. You do not respect the fact that I worked very hard, made sacrifices to earn this money. You do not respect the fact that I have paid off your mortgage, paid for the college education of your kids, and even some money for their own place. You badmouthed me, calling me names, and even told people hubby should divorce me." Sister-in-law is trying so hard to deny it, and brother-in-law calls me a liar. Father-in-law joins in and sides with me. Sister-in-law notices that she won't get the expensive holiday she wanted and said, "Fine, then don't pay for this holiday. The least you can do is pay for our plane tickets and let us stay in your holiday home." I said, "Not happening. First of all, the family can't leave due to flight restrictions. Second, you don't get to make demands. The voucher you got already has a very generous amount of money on it for you to use the way you please, maybe towards a holiday. Third, we already went on a holiday paid by me, so you got a paid for holiday already. Fourth, if you want more money, then get a job that will pay more. You have a degree. And lastly, you treat me like crap and still expect me to just hand over my hard-earned money." Sister-in-law starts the waterworks and turns to her father, who completely sided with me. He told her that he knew how hard I worked and the sacrifices that me and hubby made for this, and hubby is pissed. He sees red and tells his sister in no uncertain terms that this won't be happening and how dare they. He then tells her that we're leaving. We pack up the kids and go home. Mother-in-law calls me and she tries the whole spiel on how hard they had it before I came into money and helped them, etc. Hubby dealt with her perfectly and she understood after a lengthy conversation. Now here is where I just laugh. Apparently sister-in-law's kids are pissed that she pulled this stunt and went full rebel mode. We have a great relationship and seemed afraid that this would influence it. They managed to come by and we had a heart-to-heart. I told them that we didn't blame them for the actions of their parents. They know about their generous college and home funds, and I stated to them that we wouldn't want them to do anything against their parents as they still live there. They stayed for dinner and then went home. As of now, the kids are barely talking to their parents. They still do their chores and let them know things, but that's it. flying monkeys in the form of other family members came in, as sister-in-law had sent them messages and called them. I know some of you will wonder why I don't just give the money. I simply feel uncomfortable just handing out money. I don't think anyone's wondering why you're not giving her $35,000 for her vacation, OP. I'm pretty sure 99.9% of us are siding with you because your sister-in-law is super entitled, who thinks that because someone has money, it means they're entitled to stuff. So, OP has a part 2 where she continues the story about her sister-in-law, and the story is titled, "You paid for them? You pay for us." So to continue, sister-in-law was very disappointed and angry that I didn't bow down to her every whim and paid for a holiday. For those who read my post, you'll know that I'm well off, thanks to hard work and some luck. We had some flying monkeys come in because of my sister-in-law, and most backed down and understood where we stood and left us alone. Unfortunately, the whole family now knows that we have a bank account with money in it, as sister-in-law has called a lot of family members to complain and spill the beans. They began talking amongst themselves and their children. Some of the aunts, uncles, and cousins didn't think it was fair that I paid for some college funds for some of the children of the cousins, and that I paid for a family holiday. To note, I only have college funds for children of cousins who I have a close relationship with. That's about 6 cousins with around 12 kids, so I'm paying for 12 educations. I'm in this family for almost 20 years, and I only see the majority of aunts, uncles, and cousins on the yearly, bi-yearly family reunion, if everybody comes. I haven't seen some of them in around 5 to 10 years. A couple of days after the fallout with sister-in-law, an aunt and uncle call, something they never do. I put my phone on speaker as I was busy folding the laundry. They ask how everything's going, how we're holding up during the virus and such. We exchange some experiences, and they both go like this. This is the start of the convo. The aunt and uncle said, "Listen, we hear you have some college funds set up for the children of certain cousins. Is that true?" I answered, "Yeah, that's true." "Is it true that you took mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law 1 and sister-in-law 2, and family with you on a holiday?" I replied, "Yes." "You also have a holiday home?" "We do, but why do you want and need to know?" "Well, we never knew you had so much money." I replied, "Well, a lot of hard work, sacrifices, dedication, and luck were part of it." "Uh-huh. Well, you have to pay for our grandchildren's college funds as well, and we want to go on a holiday with our kids too. We deserve it too." I was shocked in silence, and the aunt and uncle said, "We're family too, so you have to pay." I was in shocked silence, and they continued and said, "So yeah, we want college funds for your 6 grandchildren, each consisting of $800,000 for each child, and we want a holiday home like yours, but in location X. We already have one picked out. We'll send you the information. And that also goes for our family holiday. We're family, and since you have the money, you can pay for us too." They continue to rant that they deserve it because they're family, and family needs to take care of each other. My hubby, meanwhile, has heard everything and was getting angrier. I had pressed the record button halfway through the convo and asked them to repeat their demands. I eventually asked them if they had more to say, which they hadn't. I just flat out and said that it wasn't going to happen, that they might think that they're entitled to my money, but they weren't. I quoted the phrase that they and many of the family gave us when hubby and I didn't have the money and we were in a tight spot because we had a health scare. We asked every family member if we could borrow some money and we'd pay it back. Only 3 of the 9 aunts and uncles helped us, and we paid them back. And the quote was, "It's your responsibility to have and save enough money for the care, well-being, and education of your family. If you can't, then you don't deserve them. We won't be giving you any money." Stunned silence on their side. I told them to relay the message to the rest and not call us with such demands, and I hung up the phone. Hubby was very proud. In the weeks that followed, some of the other aunts, uncles, and cousins called with the same. Then came the cherry on top. I came home last week on a weekday to find a lot of parked cars on an otherwise almost empty street. I had to pass my house in order to park somewhere else and around the corner, and found out that 15 to 20 aunts, uncles, and cousins had gathered in the front yard. Now, Here's something that few people know. I have security cameras around my home that record sound as well. Another thing that few people know is don't mess with me. I'm told that my right hook is very painful. So while walking back, I called the non-emergency line of our local police station. I told them the situation and told them that crap might hit the fan and if they could come and assist in case it got out of hand. They said they would send some cops, and then crap hit the fan. The moment I stepped inside of people, they started screaming, cursing, and telling me to pay up, or they'll make sure that I'll pay one way or another. Some of them poked their fingers close to my face and in my chest and arms. I told them multiple times to stop what they're doing and leave. Then one uncle made a mistake. He slapped me in full view of the cops. The crowd went silent as he put his face in almost my face and went on a rant that I had to obey him as he's one of the elders of the family, all the while with his hand raised as he would slap me again. This was apparently what the cops needed as well. The family members were stunned, and the cops managed to get them away from me. They were pissed. A couple of aunts, uncles, and cousins managed to make a run for their car and drive away. The rest got to meet with some angry cops, some fines for breaking social distancing rules, and the expectation that charges might be pressed against them. To be honest, I feel really crappy. I feel like I'm dividing a family just because I don't hand out my money. Hubby says this is mostly the money I worked hard for, so I get to decide what happens. Still, I'm thinking of setting some college funds aside for the rest of the children. It would also seem that I don't stand my ground and can be persuaded with violence, threats, and harassment, and I'm so sick of it. Guys, the crazy part is that this happens to families all over the world. Money absolutely destroys people and rips families apart. That's why if I ever won the lotto, I just pull the biggest disappearing act without telling anyone. Guys, what do you think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. And does anybody have guesses on how much money OP has? Because the uncle demanded $800,000 for each of his 6 children, which is absurd. And that brings us to an end of another episode of r/Entitled People. Guys, if you missed the last episode, it's just as crazy as this one. OP's sister demands that she gives her her house and gets her mom to talk to her about it. Like it's a toy that she won't share. So check it out, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.